Hello, my name is Angela and I'm here with Joey Legend. He was there yesterday on OWG Unbreakable on 17 March in Bijlsbron. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I had some fun last night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about the training yesterday?
Just everybody worked so hard. I mean, I train in a lot of places around the world, and most guys are just so interested in learning the next move they saw on TV that nobody wants to learn the fundamentals. And the guys here wanted to kind of ground floor it and make sure their fundamentals were sound, and then build. And that's where most of your best talent comes from. I mean, Steve Austin was an excellent foundational wrestler, and then he built from there. The Rock had a solid foundation, he built from there.
Yeah.
And these guys show that same potential.
So hard workers are
Absolutely.
here?
Yeah, absolutely.
After training, you had a show.
Mm-hmm.
You was on the show as special guest. How was it for you?
Oh, it was fun. I enjoyed coming and seeing the shows. I like seeing as I'm getting old,
Yeah.
so I like seeing where the next generation is coming from and stuff. And most times I'm a little, I don't want to put a sour note in it, but I'm a little bit disappointed because
Wow.
so many guys just kind of rehash what they see on TV instead of being original and innovative and working hard. And or I see a lot of fans who are so busy kind of 5-starring and 4-starring each maneuver that they don't have fun with the show. Whereas with the OWG audience, was just loud and having fun. It was a very party atmosphere. And in turn, all the guys went out there and did some innovative offense and worked hard and acknowledged the crowd. I mean, so many guys are so busy doing the next big move that they're not looking at the crowd.
Yeah.
And the crowd bought a ticket. They deserve to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
And these guys seem to understand the principles of involving the crowd as much as involving themselves in the match. So I was impressed overall with the level of their ability to be able to involve the crowd and the fact that the crowd was involved in it. I mean, there wasn't any particularly huge TV names here, but when the general manager was announcing names of different guys, the crowd knew who it was.
Yeah.
So they've got a solid foundation for a fan base because they know who all the principal characters in the show are.
Yeah. Was it the first time since long that you were watching a show?
Yeah.
Because it was just a special special guest and.
Yeah, because most shows that I'm on. So usually I'm backstage and warming up, taping up, getting arranged. I'll if somebody asks me for help or to watch their match to help them out, I'll do it. I don't mind. But usually I don't sit down and watch a show from front to back. So this was the first time in a long time that I've watched a show from front to back, and I had fun again. It's been a long time since I've had fun just watching a show.
Yeah.
Because usually guys are saying, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And I got to sit there and critique it and go, okay, well that didn't like that. Oh, I like this, But I'm more analytical than just losing myself in it. When I was talking to the audience at the beginning, I said, I'm a fan tonight, and I went out there making the conscious effort to be a fan, and they didn't let me down.
Yeah.
I could be a fan and enjoy it, and not just sit there and oh god, this is embarrassing. It's happened so many times. These guys, busted their hump and made me want to be a fan again.
Okay, so let's talk about your career. When did you start?
Golly, 1992, 93, something like that. I know.
Long time.
Yeah, the gray is showing.
Yeah. And who trained you?
Ron Hutchison and Sweet Daddy Siki in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
I'd been training. I trained there for 2 years, but I had 10 years of karate and kung fu before that, and football, like not soccer, but football,
Yeah.
and basketball and hockey because I'm Canadian. You almost by law have to play hockey a little bit, and just my whole family are just big sports nuts. So moving into wrestling was kind of a natural progression.
Yeah.
And. So I got a break. I went to Japan. I had about 3 pro matches, and then I went to Japan for a month, which taught me a lot. Yeah. By the time I came back, Edge had started at our school, and then I kind of helped with training him, and then Christian came a year after that, and so it all kind of blossomed from there.
Yeah, and you was in a sample with Edge, Christian, and Rhino.
Yeah.
How was it?
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was Detroit. It was a promotion called ICW. Yeah. Originally, it was Midwest Championship Wrestling, I think, and then they changed.
Canada or?
No, it's Detroit. Just right across the border from Windsor, Canada. And Rhino is from Detroit, but he decided to be a Canadian for our little angle. Yeah. So we started up this pro-Canadian outfit. They wanted us to call it the Canadian World Order because the NWO was such a big deal. I thought that was just awful. So the guys and I brainstormed. We thought, the Thug Life thing sounded obnoxious. And so we decided to just be this pro-Canadians against the Americans angle. So Edge and I went and we set fire to the American flag in the ring.
Yeah.
I started 14 riots in Detroit.
Okay.
We had a fist fight our way back to the locker room, which was fun. Just because you don't see that anymore. But 3 weeks after we started that angle, this is the most annoying part.
Yeah.
We did this thing for 3 weeks and the crowd jumped. We were doing, I think, 200 people a show, which was respectable at the time. And when we started this angle, we used to go about every 2 weeks. It boosted to a little over 450 almost immediately. So there was some heat to it. But then 3 weeks after we started, Bret Hart started his pro-Canadian faction against, I guess, Austin and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And made ours look so second rate because they got all the money behind him. So, but I'd love to say he ripped us off, but he didn't know who the hell we were. But at the time, I like to think we were a little bit ahead of the curve when we understood where the heat lied and where the interest of the fans lied, and ultimately that gimmick blossomed. We did quite well for quite a long time in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about WWE.
What
it
about
was just Joe.
Yeah, worst gimmick in wrestling history, absolutely.
Well.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It wasn't good. Yeah.
Not at all.
But what can you tell us about it? About your time?
I didn't enjoy it. I mean, the money was great, the travel was great, but
and the people
wasn't
there?
for me. It's like anywhere. Some people are awesome, some people are terrible.
Yeah.
In any job or any walk of life, you're gonna find good and bad in every aspect. For me, I just, maybe it's. I just think that ultimately, just hard work should be acknowledged, and you should benefit from it. But it has nothing to do with hard work as much as it is just getting on with the right people, kissing up to the right writer. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did everything that was asked of me, which I probably shouldn't have. There was a couple times where I was actually gonna fist fight people, and Edge, Christian, and Jericho talked me out of it. And they had my best interest at heart, I'm sure, but I should have just ignored them and went and punched the guys anyway. I would have felt better about myself.
Yeah.
The writer, specifically a guy named Jamie, he was stupid. Just a genuinely stupid human being.
Okay.
The only intelligence he had was to find guys who were already doing well and then take credit for their stuff. Because he was in charge of the right to censor angle, which wrote itself. Stevie Richards knew what he was doing. Godfather, those guys are Good Father at the time. They knew how to program this gimmick, and he was in charge of the Eddie Guerrero China thing. So he'd walk up and say, "Eddie, China, I got this great idea," and they go, "No, you don't. You never have a good idea. Point the camera, press, record, be quiet."
Yeah.
And then they go and do something really well. He'd say cut and say, "That was brilliant." Then he'd present it to the office and say, "Look what I got out of these guys." He got nothing other than credit, which he didn't deserve.
Okay.
And he was the guy in charge of my stuff, so whenever I would pitch something to him, he'd just disregard it and go with something ridiculous. So I had no stroke to be able to just go above his head. I'd just look like a weasel if I went above his head, so I was in a bad place.
Yeah. You travel all over the globe, so do you have a favorite place or something?
I should probably say Germany, since that's where I am right now, yeah.
Why?
Because I don't want to get stabbed on the way to the train station. I never thought as a kid I'd come to Europe.
Yeah.
And I had no interest. I didn't care about history class. I paid enough attention to pass, but then I just disregard it. And now I'm like the biggest history nut ever, and I love living in Europe. I live in Hanover now. For wrestling style, I've always loved the Japanese style, and I've been to Japan 14 times. So, I appreciate that style. That style, that speaks to me as far as just effort. Yeah. Guys, if you want to go out there and put in the effort, you don't have to worry about 10 other agents telling you this, that, the other. Just go out there and fight it out. You don't have to be a tool if you don't want to be a tool. Whereas in North America, they kind of give you your gimmick and say, "Okay, we decided that you're going to be a bonehead. Good luck with that." And then you're like, "Well, there's no money in that." Yeah, but we'll make money later. And you won't. You'll be fired, but you did what you were asked. You can be fired sooner or later.
Okay.
Just if you stick around for later, can screw you because you have a reputation of being this bonehead.
Yeah.
And perception is reality. So the Japanese style I like a lot, but I also like. I mean, anywhere you go, there's something cool to be picked up. I'm probably going. I was just contacted by a Mexican outfit. I might go down to Mexico. It's the only major market I haven't done. Conan offered me ages ago, but I'd have to go for such a length of time and I don't want to be away from my kids that long. But the Puerto Rican style was good because it was fairly easy and the fans are nuts.
Okay.
So I mean, for longevity, your body can last longer in Puerto Rico because you don't have to do as much, but you get as big a reaction.
Okay.
I like the old school European style. But, I mean, the majority of the business is shifting to the WWE sports entertainment ideals, and which has its good and bad. But I hate the fact that a lot of the great stuff from years ago, a lot of the great, Tony Sinclair matches and things like that are kind of being lost because everybody's so busy trying to be the next Austin, Undertaker, Rock, etc. So, I mean, it's not even necessarily the region that I go to, but maybe the date on the calendar I go to. I loved the 80s wrestling because that's when I got into it, so I kind of have a love affair with that. The Attitude Era was so much fun, and that's when I really knew I wanted to do this, and that's when I got signed to WWE. So, it's as much the time frame as it is the region. But there's something good in every region I've been to.
Okay. So we're at the end of our interview.
Okay.
Do you have something to say, or where we see you in the next few times?
Let's see. I've got on the horizon for the next few months. I've got more Germany. I've got India. I've got Pakistan. I've got Singapore, Taiwan, Vietnam, Cambodia. Looking like possibly Japan again, Mexico.
And Germany?
I said Germany at the beginning. It's all about focus.
Are you coming back to OWG?
England. I got England next month. Yeah, gladly. If OWG will have me, I'd love to come back. I'd love to get in there and work with a couple of guys. I'll be honest. There's something about Cash Crash.
Oh yeah.
He is such a talent. I mean, he's a nuisance. Clearly, the crowd, boo, you jerk. There's something about that guy. He's really good. I mean, the weight.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, the weight categories clearly, I should be thumping him. Maybe they don't want to wrestle somebody that much bigger than him. But guys with his amount of talent, I'd love to get in the ring and do more with guys like that. And just, I want to get in the ring with people who actually love doing this and not just aren't doing it for a buck.
Yeah.
And aren't doing it just to show off to their cousin before they go back and work at Subway.
Yeah.
I want to, and this is a group of guys who seem to have that passion to want to do more and to work hard. So yeah, if OWG happened, I'd love to come back and actually work a match instead of just special guest it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the interview.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later.